I'm David Perry for Casey Kasem. Now, over the years, Saturday Night Live has booked hundreds of cutting-edge music acts, but in nearly every case, they were booked after their debut album was released in the USA. We're up to one of the first acts in the show's 23-year history to be booked before her album came out. The list of musicians who performed on Saturday Night Live is nothing short of encyclopedic. Since the show first aired back in October of 1975, everyone from Elvis Costello and Blondie to the Rolling Stones and Aerosmith have appeared on the Saturday Night Live stage. But they all had some sort of track record in the U.S., even if it was just a cult following. But on March 10th, a newcomer from Australia will perform 3 days before her CD is released here in the States. There's quite a buzz surrounding former Australian soap opera star Natalie Imbruglia, and her song Torn is getting quite a bit of radio play. It's already a hit in her native Australia, in England, and in Europe. And anyway, as one of the show's producers noted, quote, "We just really love the song. And of course, we like her look. She's got a presence that will be good for live television." And this week, the song that's causing the buzz is our biggest mover, leaping 12 notches to number 24 in Casey's Top 40. Here's Natalie Imbruglia with Torn.
I thought I saw a man brought to life. East coast to coast.
And that means we're up to the number 1 song in the USA on American Top 40. It's a smash by a newcomer who recently sang at the MTV Movie Awards. And as she gazed out over the audience, she wondered, what am I doing here? Just a few weeks ago, this young Australian was invited to sing her debut single at the 1998 MTV Movie Awards in L.A. She thought that sounded like fun. But remember, she was a newcomer, and she'd never been to an event so star-studded. She says she couldn't get over the feeling that they had made a mistake, that they had confused her for someone more important. The singer says from the moment she arrived at the event, she was completely overwhelmed. Photographers were everywhere. Film crews were everywhere. She looked to one side of her, and there was Jim Carrey and Will Smith. She looked to the other side of her, and there was Drew Barrymore and Mike Myers. There were the Wallflowers. There was Samuel L. Jackson. She says people she admired were all over the place, and they were treating her like a star. She kept wanting to tell them that she wasn't a star. She was just this girl from an Australian beach town. But this girl from the Australian beach town is a rising star, a star whose debut single has captured the attention of millions around the world, a song that for the 10th consecutive week is the number 1 song in the land. The number 1 song in the USA on American Top 40 is Torn by Natalie Imbruglia.
American Top 40.
Well, now we're up to a hit by a singer who ran into a problem when she landed a recording contract. Her record company said she had to change her Italian last name. She said, no way. When the powers that be at RCA Records in London first met Australian singer Natalie Imbruglia, they knew they'd found the singer they were looking for. She was going to be their Fiona Apple, their Sheryl Crow, their Alanis Morissette. They loved her look, and they loved her sound. There was only one thing they didn't love: her last name. They argued it was too hard to pronounce, that people would call her Natalie Imbruglia, just as we did for a while. They figured nobody would figure out how to spell it. They wanted Natalie to use a simpler name, maybe even one name, like Madonna. Someone suggested she call herself Angel, which Natalie says turned her stomach. They came up with a whole list of possible names, but Natalie was determined. She was born Natalie Imbruglia, and she was going to stay Natalie Imbruglia. Eventually, the record company gave in, and Natalie proved that it's not the name that counts, it's the talent behind it. Her first hit, Torn, spent 11 weeks at number 1, and this week, her second Top 40 hit is our highest debut. Entering at number 32, here's Natalie Imbruglia with her follow-up, Wishing I Was There. I'm Casey Kasem on American Top 40. Well, now we're up to a song by Natalie Imbruglia, a hot new star who recently named the powerful women who are her top role models. They include a superstar singer, a superstar actress, and her mom. The superstar actress she's talking about has been making movies for over 40 years and earned an Oscar for Best Actress for her role in the movie Terms of Endearment, Shirley MacLaine. Natalie says Shirley is one of her role models because, quote, she's got it all together. She's a brilliant entertainer, and she's managed to be a star both as an actor and as a dancer. Natalie says when it comes to music, her role model has to be the material mom, Madonna. She says Madonna means so much to her because, quote, she's always on the edge. She does what she wants to do no matter what anyone may think. She's a career woman who defines her own career. And then there's the woman who's probably Natalie's biggest role model, her mom. She says her mother has an endless amount of energy. She raised 4 girls and always had time for each of them. Natalie says she remembers her mother driving her half an hour to dance lessons, then leaving to drive the other girls to their classes, then driving back to pick them all up, and always having a good meal on the table that night. She says, quote, she's a very tough woman. Natalie Imbruglia is the result of all those influences, and this week she's at number 20 with her recent number 1 smash, Torn. American Top 40's heard coast to coast and around the world every week on great radio stations like today's best music, Kiss 108, Boston, Massachusetts. The best jam station in central Kansas, Star 95, Salina, Kansas. KW3, the best mix of the 80s and 90s, Quincy, Wenatchee, Moses Lake, Washington. Climbing 4 notches to number 15 is the latest hit from a singer who says that one of her greatest thrills is connecting with her fans, especially in concert when they sing the words to her songs. She says, quote, that blows my mind. It sounds crazy, but you do sometimes find it hard to believe that people go out and learn the words. I mean, it's great. Here's Natalie Imbruglia and Wishing I Was There.
Take your hand and place it in my...
Casey Kasem down.
I'm Casey Kasem.
I thought I saw a man brought to life. Where he was warm, he came around like he was dignified.
Well, now we're up to an American Top 20 Extra, the song Torn, a smash that Natalie Imbruglia says was both the best and the worst thing to happen to her. It was early in 1998 that Australian singer Natalie Imbruglia first hit the charts with Torn. That song spent 11 big weeks at number 1 on the pop chart. It became the song that Natalie was best known for, and a song that's haunted her ever since. She says, quote, it was such a huge success, everyone wanted to see if I could do it again. And I couldn't. You can't repeat something like Torn. A song like that comes along once in a lifetime. But I can't get people to understand that, unquote. Natalie has had a few other hits on our chart since, but nothing that's come close to the success of Torn. She says, most of me is glad I had Torn, but part of me wishes it had never happened. It's going to hang over me forever. I'll always be the girl who couldn't do it again, unquote. Now, with an American Top 20 Extra, here's Natalie Imbruglia with that smash from 1998, Torn.
American Top 10.
I'm Casey Kasem. Now we're up to an extra by Natalie Imbruglia, a woman who became a musician so she wouldn't be deported. Natalie was a successful actress in Australia, but she left her homeland to find fame and fortune in England. Her visa was only good for 6 months, and while she tried to land a TV gig, she couldn't find a job. Then, just days before her visa expired, a friend introduced her to a music publisher. Even though Natalie had never sung professionally, she was hoping he'd give her a chance. And he did. He was impressed with her nerve and with her good looks. He had Natalie sing on a demo. To his surprise, Natalie wasn't just a pretty face. She could really sing. And that led to a singing career and a hit that became an international smash. From 1998, here's Torn. From 1998, that's Natalie Imbruglia with an AT10 Extra, a song she kept at number 1 for 11 weeks on the pop chart. Torn. I'm Casey Kasem.
Casey Kasem down.